So for me to even allow myself to get tricked into being in a space to where I feel like, you know, I'm at the mercy of some
refusal may have been an act of defiance. It came at a steep price.
One night, we was in the Suburban, and he let me wear his ring. You know, the first thing we discussed when we got in the truck, you know what he discussed with me? What type of guns you like, money? He said, what type of guns you like, money? I said, I got a stick at my crib. I said, I keep a 40. He's like, nah, man, I like my revolver. He said, I keep my revolver. And I think he had it on him. Like, at the time, we was in the truck. And he was like, I gotta have my revolver. And I think one of the security guards will talk about what they like. I like my chopper. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just having, that's the kind of conversation he gave me one-on-one.
The entertainment industry has always attracted global attention because it represents fame, success, creativity, and influence all at once. Over the years, it has also become a space surrounded by curiosity and speculation, especially in the age of social media where information spreads instantly. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and X, Twitter, have made it possible for short clips, interviews, and old moments to resurface and be reinterpreted by millions of viewers within hours. As a result, discussions about celebrities often go far beyond their work and begin to focus on personal lives, private events, and alleged behind-the-scenes dynamics. In many of these online conversations, names of major public figures such as Sean Diddy Combs, Jay-Z, and Beyonce often appear, not necessarily because of confirmed events, but because of their global recognition and cultural influence. Major reason these kinds of narratives develop so quickly is the way content is consumed online today. People rarely see full interviews or complete context anymore. Instead, they are exposed to short clips or edited segments that can easily be taken out of context. When a moment is isolated from its original setting, it can be interpreted in many different ways, depending on the viewer's perspective. This is one of the key reasons why misunderstandings and speculation spread so easily in the digital world. A simple interaction or expression can turn into a larger discussion once it is shared repeatedly without context. Over time, these fragments of information begin to form narratives that may feel complete, even if they are built on incomplete or unverified material. Social media also plays a major role in amplifying curiosity. Unlike traditional media, where information is filtered.
Been through all that before I ever even stepped in front of one of these, you know what I'm saying? So that wasn't, I ain't even come in like no buddy ass. Like I wasn't even, you know, I never was really tripping on, you know, but I didn't dealt with that like, you know, like closely, you know, that type shit. I didn't deal with them experiences with like, yeah, with like, you know, I done did this with that with, we'll do this about it, you know, we'll do that. I didn't dealt with it in the rawest way. So in terms of like, you know, what the public know, what the public see, all that's peanuts. That really ain't about nothing. And the whole time, wow, as much as you would see me going through, like, you know, or much you see going on around me, controversy, whatever, publicly, like, it's going on in a real way. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes, it's always been very real for me, you know, which is why, like, the way I treat the type that go viral and the type blow up in the headlines and it's called controversy in the media when it comes to the music business, it'll get taken as arrogance when I kind of like downplay it or whatever, or not pay it, because motherfuckers don't know, like I really deal with, you know, real in a very real way. Right. And I, you know, and I maneuver through it gracefully, you know, if I might say so myself. So it's, you know, I look at this other shit is like minuscule, you know, and it ain't for, you would have to know what I got going on to peep it, you know what I mean, to know what's going on. If not, it'll look like this just think he just goddamn, you know.
Insiders
and verified before being published. Social platforms allow anyone to share opinions, theories, or interpretations instantly. When a topic involves celebrities or influential figures, it naturally gains attention, especially if it includes mystery or controversy. Algorithms on these platforms are designed to promote content that keeps users engaged, which means emotional or sensational topics often spread faster than neutral or factual ones. This creates a cycle where speculation is continuously amplified, even without confirmation or evidence. In many cases, discussions about exclusive events or private gatherings in the entertainment world are based on general assumptions about how the industry works rather than verified facts. It is true that celebrities often attend private parties, award-after events, and industry gatherings that are not open to the public. This is mainly due to security, privacy, and professional networking. However, online discussions sometimes take these normal aspects of celebrity culture and transform them into more dramatic or mysterious interpretations. While curiosity about private celebrity lives is natural, it is important to recognize the difference between privacy and conspiracy. Another important factor behind the spread of these narratives is human psychology. People are naturally drawn to stories that involve hidden truths, power structures, or secretive environments. When information is incomplete, the mind tries to fill in the gaps by creating explanations, even if those explanations are not supported by evidence. In the case of the entertainment industry, where access is limited and most decisions happen behind closed doors, this tendency becomes even stronger. The lack of full visibility often leads audiences to assume that there is more happening than what is publicly known, even when there may not be. As these conversations grow online, public figures often find themselves at the center of narratives that are beyond their control. Even without verified information, repeated association with certain claims can influence public perception. This is one of the challenges of living in a digital era where information spreads faster than it can be corrected. Once a narrative becomes popular, it can continue circulating for a long time, even if it has been clarified or debunked. This creates a situation where reputation and perception can be shaped by online discussions rather than confirmed facts. At the same time, audiences also play a significant role in how these stories evolve. Every share, comment, or view contributes to the visibility of content. Without realizing it, people often help amplify narratives simply by engaging with them. This is why media literacy has become so important in today's world. Being able to question sources, understand context, and differentiate between fact and speculation is essential when consuming online content. Not everything that goes viral is accurate, and not everything that is widely discussed is necessarily true. It is also worth noting that the entertainment industry itself is complex and often misunderstood. Like any major global industry, it involves business decisions, contracts, networking, and private interactions that are not always visible to the public. However, the gap between what is visible and what is unknown often becomes a space where speculation grows. When people do not have full information, assumptions naturally fill the void. This does not necessarily mean that hidden stories exist. It often just reflects the limits of public access to private systems. Over time, these narratives tend to evolve and take on new forms. A clip that appears online today may resurface months or years later in a completely different context. New audiences may discover it without knowing its original background, which leads to fresh interpretations and renewed discussions. This cycle ensures that certain topics remain alive in digital culture even without new developments. As long as curiosity exists, these stories continue to circulate, adapting to new platforms and trends. In conclusion, the way celebrity stories spread online says more about modern digital behavior than about the individuals involved. The combination of fragmented information, social media amplification, psychological curiosity, and limited context creates an environment where speculation can thrive easily. Public figures such as Sean Combs, Jay-Z, and Beyonce often become part of these conversations due to their visibility, but the narratives surrounding them are not always based on verified facts. In the end, understanding these patterns helps us see the bigger picture, that in the digital age, information travels fast, but truth requires patience, context, and careful consideration before drawing conclusions.